It is certainly a night and a debate.
Those are both true. Over in
Oh,
Russia,
here we
it's
go.
actually the day.
So are we waiting for Sunday's thing about
Web
Dugin?
archive. Okay, yeah, apparently I found it. Give me 1 sec. Translate to English.
Kill me. Kill me. I have been watching the President Sunday versus Infrared Haas debate for a few hours now. I've been jotting down my ideas, my thoughts on Twitter. But it ended quite quickly. Quite quickly. Because they were just going round and round and round and round and round and round in loops. It never ended. So I've written down here my ideas. In general, President Sunday's debate style lends itself much better to a university setting than YouTube. That is my overall critique of this whole thing. His style is focusing on definitions, because in universities, definitions are kind of everything. Like it's not a if you use the term civilization to mean broadly a nation's history or a like in common parlance, you know, it's just colloquially using the term civilization, that doesn't bode well for you in a university setting. There you have to, with those types of words, it's usually a good idea to specify which definition of the term you use. But Haas, he realizes this is and this is to his credit. I thought he was much more moronic than this debate showed, but he seems to have learned. He didn't screech. He didn't tune up the gain on his microphone to 11. So, and he tailored his language towards the audience rather than the university, so to speak. And I'm not done yet. I have like a 30 minutes left. Yeah, something like that. But I don't think it's going to change. What else do I write here? Okay, so the overall idea with the overall debate was about Haas's ideology. He wrote this grand manifesto for 40 pages, and President Sunday's trying to nail it down, like trying to understand it, because apparently it's a bit incoherent. Not entirely, apparently, but a bit incoherent. Good morning, Social Lust. Although it's 3 p.m. here, so I don't know if I would call it morning for myself. I'm just talking about the President Sunday infrared debate around infrared's ideology. And I'm sorry to say that I think Haas won, mainly because President Sunday he meandered around definitions way too much. Way too much. I understand it was a debate about an ideology and definitions are important, but this is YouTube. It's fine to be inquisitory about the definitions, but just move on at some point. Just say, just come to the conclusion that, okay, it's incoherent, but I'll try to use it the best that I can. And then you move on and you make your point and you force Haas to say, no, you're wrong on that point because that's not in line with my definition. And they go, and there you go. Your definition is incoherent. Oh, you're setting up a new streaming room. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I'm not. I wish I was. That would be awesome. Well, I don't mind sitting in the corridor like this, because whenever my girlfriend needs something from the kitchen, she has to move past me. Now, she always tries to irritate me somewhat in some ways. She drags her hand across my face and stuff like that. However, that's physical engagement, and I call that a win. No, seriously, the debate, it's Haas won that one, unfortunately, simply because Sunday didn't. He was too meandering. He didn't engage in the argument in a way that works with YouTube. Which is kind of my issue I have with his channel in general. I don't dislike President Sunday, but if we go to stream is healthy, good. If we go to President Sunday and he has a few videos that's, I don't know if I call it popping off. I mean, compared to me, it's definitely popping off. Don't get me wrong. He has far more subscribers than I do. He's just, okay, the Zizek wokeness article. Let's just get a feel for President Sunday's presentation style. Way too long. Okay. He did something good here that I haven't seen from him before, and that's heavy editing. Absolutely heavy editing. I want to see if we go back sometime. Is this a... Okay, nope. Is he on live? Okay, let's... He's playing games. I don't want to see gameplay. I want to see political analysis. Yeah. And that's my experience with him. It works for some people, and fine. I'm not trying to get. I'm not trying to start beef with President Sunday. I'm simply just pointing out why Haas won. Because whatever you can say about Haas, it's not that he's boring. That would be the most the most disingenuous part, a disingenuous statement ever made. He is very entertaining. Have you seen Haas versus Dylan versus Hinkle and Dylan? I think Haas and Hinkle versus Destiny and Dylan. Yes, of course I have. How could I not have seen that one? Let's just... Why don't we look at a highlight? And I think... XQC reacted to it. That's actually interesting, considering how much of a normie he is. Okay, so this is some clips. I want to see the clip. Like, yeah, they had it been live, there would have been fisticuffs. That's for sure. That's for sure. I have a warning. If I run into that door, it's because I am. Hello? Is it? Oh. See, okay. Let me take you backstage. If I'm in waiting, you can see here. No, you can't see here. If I'm in waiting, this is the same audio source. So I could remove it, but I haven't for some reason. So every time I start stream, I have to mute the audio source of the computer. And then once I start, because I'm in waiting, because just getting people to join, whatever. But then once I actually start streaming, I have to unmute it. But I always forget every fucking time. It doesn't matter. It's the Moscow manlet.
Gosh, looks like Sid.
Moscow manlet.
Not even at the time.
I think we need another mute here on the Moscow manlet,
So you're
please.
saying that now they have a majority?
Gentlemen, I hate to do this with both of you,
gnome
but both Dylan and Haas, I've got you on mute because we do have to get the next question.
Destiny his torso is big though. He's short. He looks like a fucking torso group.
Okay. This is coming in from Ken.
He just has a long torso.
Gosh.
Looks like Sid from Ice Age. He has the body of Sid from Ice Age. He has the body of Sid from Ice Age.
Dude, repeat it a third time.
Kremlin Gremlin. There was a lot of good insults being thrown at Has that debate. That is true. But yeah, so if I have to run, if I run in there, it's because my stomach isn't agreeing with me today. I ate some few-day-old eggs yesterday. I tested them, the old water test, to see if the eggs were fine. We have new eggs. I tested them just to make sure that both sank to the bottom. And they both did. So I'm like, okay, that means the old eggs aren't bad yet. Right? That's a known test for eggs. If you have really old eggs, they float. But these didn't. They sank to the bottom. So I think they're fine. I think this is semi-psychosomatic. When I'm hungry, my stomach sometimes feels like it's gonna throw up until I eat something. But I have eaten, and my stomach still don't agree with me. So if I run, you know why. I just want to say we are heading into a new recession. Silicon Valley Bank collapses after failing to raise capital. Interesting. Horrifying, one might say even. The wheels started to come off on Wednesday when SVB announced it had sold a bunch of securities at a loss and that it would sell 2.25 billion in new shares to shore up its balance sheet. That triggered a panic among key venture capitalist firms, no shit it did, who reportedly advised companies to withdraw from their money from the bank. Congratulations. It is, echoes of 2008. This is, I am so glad I don't have much shares in the market. Like, I've been a poor boy, so I haven't invested much in the stock market. Oh my God, it's really depressing. What is this? U.S. bank failures spiked around the Great Recession, but have been rare since then. Of course, yeah, of course. Okay, is this the amount of banks that failed? Total failures by year. Yeah, okay. That's not a surprise, but that's due to the pandemic. These are the waves. What's it called? Svallvågor. Surge waves, backwash from the Great Recession. But this isn't good. This is not good at all. The funny thing is, they have failed, yet they're still here. Don't you want to become a client? Don't you wish you could become a client of Silicon Valley Bank? I wonder how much this is Elon Musk's fault. Like how much did his buy and subsequent failure to competently rule Twitter have in all this? I wonder. We also have some news from the Ukrainian front. New video shows Russian soldiers refusing to obey their superiors' orders.
We've got new video and out front of the one road that could make all the difference when it comes to who ultimately controls Bakhmut, a town that Russians thought they would topple easily in 2 weeks, but now has been a place of hand-to-hand combat for more than 7 months. So this road is the only supply route for Ukraine's troops into the besieged city. It is a crucial route, right now covered in mud. Cars and trucks have been blown to pieces, and they line that muddy pathway, which is essentially what it is. But this is what's keeping Ukraine going and allowing it to push back against Russian soldiers who have been in continual disarray. And even tonight, new videos, just listen to this one, lashing out at their superiors.
I am refusing to obey orders after we took on losses in just 3 days. One reason being that our troops are not trained properly, yet sent to the front lines. It's completely f***ed up. We are dying left and right. Here's what's left of our company.
You can see only about 10 or a dozen men there, but I am refusing to obey orders, not just a complaint, an actual refusal to obey orders. It's not clear whether Putin is listening to this. For his part, he's rarely seen in public and rarely acknowledges the horrible struggle that his forces are facing on the front line.
So that's fun. I argued with some people on Twitter the other week about the main reason Ukraine will win and why Russia hasn't achieved hardly any of their goals. Like, they've held the eastern borders, but they already had that. I even think AUUA map. Is it AUUA? Live UA map. Here. So they already controlled all of this. I think this is Russian territory from the beginning, right? Like, this wasn't, yeah, because here's Kremlin, or sorry, Crimea. And this is Russian territory. So they didn't have, this is Russian territory from the beginning. Here's the line between, they already had all of this. They've taken this though. Okay, so that's a win for them, I guess, if you can call it that. But the point is, the reason they haven't taken more, the reason they lost here, is one side is fighting for their life, the other side is fighting for someone else's ego. And the one fighting for their life is always going to win. Always. As long as they can win, not always, of course, but they can win insurmountable obstacles. They can overcome, I mean, you've seen 300, I'm sure. And while that's a fantasy movie based on a comic book, the comic book, is based on real life events. Those 300 men, they really did a lot there. I don't know if it actually was 300. That might be glorification, something. But in general, they did stand against an insurmountable obstacle. And that is why Russian troops have been failing so much. And now with having conscripts who's had like a few weeks of training being thrown into the front lines, that doesn't bode well for Russia. They were apparently promised, or they were told that they all they were going to do is secure the Donbas region. That is all they were going to do. They're not going to fight in the front lines. Sure, there might be some shelling. There might come some uppity Ukrainian some babushka, Ukrainian babushka, who wants to slap them around a bit. But that's about it. That's what they were told. And they're in the front lines instead. And they're apparently sent there without maps even. Who does that? Like, what are they supposed... How will they find their ways without maps? So yeah, Russia... The last thing. I don't think any Russian will see this. Any Russian frontline soldiers will see this. But if they do, I promise you that if you give up, if you wave the white flag against the Ukrainians, they will treat you kindly. They will welcome you with open arms. Do it. I think that would be such a badass move. Just go, the whole company in the army just goes, fuck these guys in Kremlin. I'm not gonna, this isn't benefiting me at all. Fuck them. And just turn around and move those, and move the front line to your position. That would be awesome. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be awesome. That's for sure. Yes. But I have... But I had, if your own Conrad, I'm guessing Colonel, shoots you. But I had. Have you heard for Ukrainian she flyer that was riddled in bullets? Now, my English isn't perfect, but it's not bad. It's good enough to get me into university in Canada and college in the US. Because I'm not gonna pay. It actually got me into university in the US even, but I didn't go because I didn't want to go to Minnesota. Minnesota. Oh, the soldier, Slava Ukraini soldier. Yeah. He's you can kill the soldier, but you'll create the legend. That's. It's okay. It's okay. I'm guess. Are you using an Android? I'm guessing. And touch the swipe to text. So I can see that you can't hear this. It doesn't even register for you. You have an iPhone 12 Pro? Well, that sucks. Because iPhone sucks. I have a flip phone. I can drop this. Like, I've dropped this. You can see it won't have it on manual focus. So it can't focus on it, but you can probably see it's kind of scuffed. I've dropped this 100 times probably, but because it's a foldable, it protects the screen, And that is crucial for me because I am a clumsy boy. Seriously, I can't tell you how many times I drop things. That doesn't make me mean that I'm gonna. You got it because everyone gets it, and that's a bigger thing. This whole Android versus iPhone debate here in Sweden, it is kind of mellow, but in America, if you get the blue screen, the green bubble, you are a social outcast. And I do not get that. I don't understand that at all. Who cares? And the reason for that is because I don't know if it's Tim Cook or if it's Steve Jobs' fault. They were actually going to develop an Android app that could read and send text messages to iPhones in the same way that iPhones sends and reads text messages from each other. There's a protocol they're using, which is an online protocol. So if you don't have an internet connection, your text to other iPhones without an internet connection, if I understand this correctly, is still going to be green. They killed that app just to create an in-group and an out-group. That was the explicit reason behind killing that app. I prefer if they made it open source. But they're never going to do that, ever, unless they are forced. But even if they're forced, they're going to find some fucking way to ignore that ruling. Like how they have done with the USB-C cables. iPhone USB-C connection. Come on. This from last year. I want it from... Let's go to news. The story so far, iPhone makers, blah, blah. The pros and cons, not what I'm looking for. What about the portless iPhone? The portless? They have long been rumored that Apple have been developing a portless iPhone, which could be completely wireless and wouldn't need a charging port. What? Okay. So you have to bring your connected what's it called? The plate which you charge it on, a charging plate. I don't know, around with you at all times instead of just a cable. That's stupid. The EU's mandate specifically says that USB-C is only required when wired charging is involved. So Apple could skip over USB-C altogether. The charging, I wonder if the charging plate's connection would have to be USB-C though. But okay, I currently Lion Cables. are limited to USB 2.0 speeds, which is 480 megabits per second, while USB-C has an 80 gigabits per second maximum speed, roughly 166 times faster. Apple's phones currently max out at 20 watts charging speed, while USB power delivery offers up to 240 watts. Very few phones offer more than 50 watts charging, but Apple is still lagging behind phones like the Galaxy S23 Plus, which can charge at 45 watts. Access to faster charging speeds can prove to be a big upgrade and give Apple the chance to stay more competitive going forward. It's worth noting that these speeds are not guaranteed. Okay, so whatever. I think it was Linus Tech Tips, which pointed out how, while yes, the future iPhones need to have USB-C, and they're gonna have USB-C, and you can use a generic USB-C cable on it, but that's gonna be limited in how much you can charge with it. So they're going to limit the charge amount with that cable, even if you buy the best fucking cable you can find anywhere in the world. Their own cables are going to be much, much, much faster charging speeds. Because there's not just one standard of USB-C. USB-C is the lowest standard. And this is a fuck up with the standard department, and the EU legislature should have specified this. There are, come on. Give me the different standards. Yeah, here we go. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different standards at the moment. USB-C pretty much only specifies, the lowest standard specifies the design, and I believe where the charging pins are. Oh, that can't be this. Oh, here we go. These are 3.1 Type-C cables. You can see here there are multiple standards here. And the European Union did not make themselves any favors by not specifying which standard. And that's a fucked up thing. So even though they are complying with the law, they're still making their own shit like they always do. Because once you're in their ecosystem, you are hooked for life. I'm gonna quickly run in there. I'll be right back. But it might take a moment or two, okay? But I'll be back. It's not impossible that someone slipped me some Taco Bell. Play pooping sounds? No, I will not play pooping sounds. That would be fun. So, Apple, fuck you. Don't buy their products. They are a horrible company that funds cobalt mining in Africa. Damn. I don't think I can stream. I'm feeling that right now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll try to stream tomorrow instead. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow if I stream then, if I'm feeling better, okay? Bye-bye.